Original audio drama from the Questers Theatre.
That Spot of Joy, a play for radio by Hilary Spiers, inspired by Robert Browning's poem My Last Duchess. The year is 1564. We are in Ferrara in Italy, in the grounds of a villa owned by a wealthy family.
So, the day dawns. A great day. It's been a while in coming, but what a prize! Negotiations, feints, retreats, advances. The subtlest dance in Ferrara, and me, please God, still the subtlest dancer of them all. Margherita! Watch her run, bursting with youth, with promise, with hope.
Is it today? Is it?
What, my lady, you are abroad early?
Zaccharia, do not tease me. I could not sleep. It is today, I know it. Otherwise, why your finest doublet?
Well then. Her nightgown, the hair undressed, the hollow in her throat.
Remember what I asked? I must know everything, mark you. Everything. Remember.
My lady, where is your woman? You should not...
Oh, she is snoring in her sheets. You need not fear. As if you could compromise my honour, Zaccharia. You must not miss a syllable. No note of whatever colour. His voice, what it says and what it does not. Bring it back to me. Every word. Will you?
She is so close. That honeyed breath brushes my cheek. The fragrance of her glorious hair fills my nostrils. To be entrusted with such a pearl, could there be a greater honour?
Zaccharia.
My lady?
I charge you. Observe his looks, complexion, the ring of his laugh. You do not see as women do. Are his teeth as white as they say? Is he of a good height? And his hands, those especially, are they an artist's hands?
An artist? Oh, my little dove, so innocent. Should I warn her about what men are like? But no, that is not my place, and there is business to be done.
I think he must be lonely, the Duke.
Lonely, my lady? Lonely? I doubt he wants for company, in bed or out.
Zaccharia, you look troubled. What ails you? Tell me, old friend.
The burden of my mission, my lady.
Burden? Am I that?
No, I only meant, do I not carry all your hopes? Must I not protect you and do your father's bidding?
What else would you do, Zaccharia? My future lies in your hands, our trusted counsellor.
My lady, I pray today I prove myself worthy of that trust.
I trust you with my life, Zaccharia. You hear me? My life.
Beautiful, is it not?
Ephraim, is it you? Oh.
The Duke is building us Elysium, and his memorial, another. His pockets, they say, are inexhaustible.
God keep his grace. We above all others owe him much. It is a debt we carry to the grave. How are you, dear friend?
Oh, surviving.
Well, we're good at that, are we not?
But you, look at these clothes. You are more than surviving, I think. Is what they whisper true?
What do they whisper?
The Lady Margherita and the Duke?
I swear these walls have ears.
If you have sense to hear. So, a fat purse from the Count for your labours if you succeed.
Perhaps, should I succeed. Ephraim, I fear I must be on my way.
Oh, it has been too long, my friend. We missed you at Shul, Zaccharia. It does not do to forget.
I do not forget, Ephraim. I never forget. Like you.
I have offended you. Your pardon.
We tread a perilous path, my friend. Less so here in Ferrara than other cities, but still. Forgive me, I must not be late. The Duke, as you surmised, awaits.
Shalom, Zaccharia. Good luck.
Shalom, my brother. Luck. This has nothing to do with luck. If that were all, the Count need not have entrusted this commission to me, his right-hand man, his confidant.
You are expected, sir. Your first time at the Castello Estense?
It is.
You're welcome. Magnificent, is it not?
Magnificent, yes. Beyond magnificent. And yet, as he closes the great door behind me, I shiver. Is it excitement or fear?
His Grace awaits. I know I think the subject of your conference today. Do not look alarmed. I am familiar with my master's affairs and his moods. So, may I advise?
Please.
His Grace is generous, lavish with his largesse, but not his words. Be patient, silent even, unless he bids you speak. You understand me?
I do. I thank you. His eyes narrow with satisfaction, and he leaves me. I look about me. What a setting for my lady! Such an honour for the family! Soaring marbled statuary surrounds his fabled treasure, the Bellini, the feast of the gods in colours that defy belief, surpassing any description I have ever heard. In the corner of the painting I catch sight of the satyr Pan, tiptoeing away to pursue his mischief, and once more I shiver. And then, suddenly, there he is, the Duke, at the top of the wide white stairs, the marble veined as if with blood. He raises one long pale hand and beckons me to ascend. His man was good to warn me. His gaze never falters as I climb up and up. When I reach the top, he strides ahead of me without a word. Flunkies in rich apparel stand to attention, looking neither right nor left. One sweeps a large, ornately carved door open, and I follow the Duke inside. We are alone, sealed in silence. The Duke crosses the room without a sound to a corner where two candles flicker, throwing grotesque shadows. He beckons me to follow. Something irrational, something akin to dread assails me. We stand before a velvet curtain from which hangs an ornate tassel threaded with gold. He cups it in his hand. He pulls the cord. Oh!
That's my last Duchess, painted on the wall, looking as if she were alive.
My very thought. We might be looking at her through a window. So lifelike, so exquisitely alive is the image. What artistry! Fra Pandolf the painter is rightly revered.
I call that piece a wonder now. Fra Pandolf's hands worked busily a day, and there she stands. Will please you sit and look at her.
His voice curls around me like a caress, its rhythms inviting me into his confidence. I think, astonished, why he speaks in verse. But why would he not, who spends his leisure as an equal with poets?
None puts by the curtain I have drawn for you, but I.
I am honoured then, my lord. The words slip out before I can stop them. His eyes flare for an instant, and I think, oh, Zaccharia, take care, were you not warned? For my master, I mean, your grace, not myself, of course. I wait, my heart thudding. At length he nods, and I look again at the painting. My last Duchess, an odd turn of phrase. The words snag as I take in the beauty before me. Grave, yet with a hint of a smile, as if she nursed a secret, this Lucrezia di Medici. So young, young as my lady, her hand to her breast, fingering a jewel that lies there nestled in her rich black gown. Full lips, as if bruised by, yes, passion. He mutters something I barely catch.
That pictured countenance, the depth and passion of its earnest glance.
I start that he should use the very word that sprang to my mind, passion. And then he turns to look at me, as though he can read the question forming in my brain. What does that look mean? I remember what his man said, and this time I held my tongue.
How such a glance came there so, not the first are you to turn and ask thus.
Ice runs down my spine. I had not asked, not aloud anyway. He looks back at the painting, and I hear again, my last Duchess, as one might speak of a servant, a hound, but a wife? I think of my lady, hopeful, heart full, helpless. The air in that gorgeous chamber thickens, anger stirs. When next he speaks, his voice is hard.
Sir, 'twas not her husband's presence only called that spot of joy into the Duchess's cheek. Perhaps Fra Pandolf chanced to say, her mantle laps over my lady's wrist too much, or paint must never hope to reproduce the faint half-flush that dies along her throat. Such stuff was courtesy, she thought, and cause enough for calling up that spot of joy.
His mimicry is vicious. The artist might almost be in the room, smocked, paint bespattered. So, I think, this is the cancer within your soul. This is your torment, the chink in your ducal armour. Jealousy. Thus are we all reduced to beasts, caught in the traps of our mistrust. The more the lady doth protest, the more flares that flickering flame of suspicion, and who is to say without reason? I recognize his pain. I nod, but inwardly I plead, enough, I do not want this burden.
She had a heart, how shall I say, too soon made glad, too easily impressed. She liked whate'er she looked on, and her looks went everywhere.
Too soon made glad? Like my lady, ever laughing, ever laying a careless hand upon a sleeve.
Sir, 'twas all one.
He flushes, and for one instant I feel his pain. Duke or commoner, Christian or Jew, we are all alike under the skin. For all his monuments, palazzos, statues, he cannot have what he craves, devotion. Were we not distanced by our stations and our faiths, I might reach out my hand in comfort. He speaks again, the words fast and ragged.
My favour at her breast, the dropping of the daylight in the west, the bough of cherries some officious fool broke in the orchard for her, the white mule she rode with round the terrace, all and each would draw from her alike the approving speech, or blush at least. She thanked men, good, but thanked somehow, I know not how, as if she ranked my gift of a 900-years-old name with anybody's gift.
Oh, what impotence is here! His eyes narrow, hands make fists as the dam of his rage bursts. But he heeds me not, alone as he is with this serpent jealousy, coiled for ever around his heart.
Who'd stoop to blame this sort of trifling? Even had you skill in speech, which I have not, to make your will quite clear to such a one and say, just this or that in you disgusts me. Here you miss, or there exceed the mark. And if she let herself be lessened so, nor plainly set her wits to yours, forsooth, and made excuse, e'en then would be some stooping, that I choose never to stoop. Oh, sir, she smiled, no doubt, whene'er I passed her. But who passed without much the same smile?
I choose never to stoop. I will him to stop, to spare me further intelligence, further what? Complicity? I do not want his confidences. Once voiced I cannot unhear them, but I am pinned to my seat, eyes fixed first on him, then back to the painting, and, God help me, still there is more.
This grew. I gave commands. Then all smiles stopped together.
He says it as one might report an everyday occurrence, a problem resolved. The words die away, leaving only their import like a sort of echo. The silence lengthens. Still we sit, rigid as stone, both faces to that dreadful image. I think, did I hear that aright? And then, is he testing me, warning her, Margherita? Tell your mistress I have the power. Step over that invisible line, and I will destroy you. Oh, such cunning! Report back what he has told me, and... But what has he told me? That the smiles ceased? What should I read in that? That she is dead? That she is buried? In earth or convent? I have heard his words, watched his eyes as he watches mine, can almost see the contemptuous frown. Your man said what? He misread me, sir, misheard me. Perhaps you should have sent a younger man.
There she stands, as if alive.
His tone is dismissive, bored. His hand reaches out, and in an instant the curtain drops and she is gone. The message imparted. He smiles briefly, a cold smile that says, I think we understand each other, no? I have not pressed the Count's suit, have told the Duke nothing of my lady, her beauty, her accomplishments, discussed no dowry. Indeed, in this strange chamber I have uttered not one word of what I was charged to do. I go to speak, but the Duke turns, and silent as a panther after prey, pads towards the door. I have missed my mark.
Will please you rise? We'll meet the company below, then.
I follow him across the chamber. As we approach, the door is flung open by unseen hands. The Duke's step is firm, his voice likewise.
I repeat, the Count your master's known munificence is ample warrant that no just pretence of mine for dowry will be disallowed. Though his fair daughter's self, as I avowed at starting, is my object.
What can I do but nod and smile? None of this has been discussed. Of course he knows of my master's means, my mistress' beauty. He has no need of my witness. His spies are everywhere. We reach the head of the stairs. I step back to let the Duke precede me, but find his hand in the small of my back, irresistibly guiding me down beside him.
Nay, we'll go together down, sir.
We descend in silence, as his major domo waits below. The Duke taps his man on the shoulder and disappears through enormous gilt doors that shut silently behind him. In silence, his man and I cross to the great outer door. I turn back to take in one last time the palace where he would install my lady. My lovely lady in this golden cage. That laughing little songbird will be lessoned to keep her eyes downcast and her smiles contained. Or stopped forever. I had not missed that last remark to me in that terrible chamber. The Duke is nothing if not scrupulous in his choice of words. It is in my gift to save her from this fate. I need only share my misgivings, tell my master that his jewel, his joyful, laughing daughter might be... What? Constrained? Stifled? The Count will reconsider, cast his net a little wider. I only have to say the word.
Goodbye, Signor. I trust we see a happy outcome from your conference. His Grace has been too long alone. This house needs a mistress, someone to dispel his melancholy, make him smile again.
I have to know. I have to be sure. Sir, were you in his service when the Duchess...
I have served his Grace for over 15 years. There is no man more generous in his affections, especially to those whom others scorn, worse, persecute. Signor, you see in what esteem he holds our race, in the office he has been gracious enough to bestow on me, and the sacrifices he made to offer our people sanctuary. More than sanctuary, respect, dignity, opportunity. Who would not want to repay that debt in some small measure, To give him what he desires.
I think of Ephraim's words, of the weight of all the history of my tribe, the safety of this city, afloat in a sea of dangers. If I can do something to maintain that precious gift, should I not do it for the sake of my people, put aside my own wishes, my own loyalties, in the interests of my kind?
We understand each other, do we not? Shalom, brother.
He presses something into my hand. I step into the sunlight, and the great door shuts behind me. The early mist has burned off, the orchards beyond the city walls already shimmering in the summer's heat. I love this city. I love my life. I finger the leather purse, and through it feel its heavy promise. But my heart is heavier. I must not tarry. My master and his daughter await my report.
In That Spot of Joy by Hilary Spiers, the Duke was played by David Erdos. Zaccharia was played by Paul Collins. Margherita was played by Jordan Fowler. Ephraim and the Major Domo were played by Robert Baker Glenn. Original music was composed by Alita Hafner. The assistant director was Stuart Watson. The sound designer and engineer was Martin Choules. The play was directed by Peter Gould. This was an original audio drama from the Questors Theatre.